We've talked a little bit already about how we can do math inside of print statements and also how we can do math outside, but let's do a little bit more exploration of that, of doing math with integers. And this time, when we do that, what we're going to do is make sure that we're gathering input from the user using the scanner. So we're going to quit out of Hello World, and we'll make a new file, which we can call hellomath.java. This will still be an exploration, but we'll just roll from there. So our file is called hellomath.java. The very first thing that we're going to do is import the scanner, that java.util.scanner. Then the next thing that we're going to do is create a public class called hellomath. Then an open curly brace. Move down to the next line. I've got smart indentation on and auto indentation on, so everything should indent normally. If you don't have that on yet, that's okay. You'll just have to press the tab key manually. And once we're set here, we'll go public static void main string open square brackets, close square brackets, args. And you close our parentheses, open up another code block, and we may as well, right off the bat, just create a scanner. And I think this scanner, we're going to call this SC, is equal to new scanner parentheses system.in, close parentheses. Go system.println. We'll just make a quick title bar real fast. And that'll just do a little bit of printing up on the top. And then from here, what we're going to do is ask the user for two numbers. And then we'll display the sum of those numbers. So we can say system.out.print. We'll make a new line here. We'll ask the user for their first, very specifically for the first integer. And then int number 1, that'll be what we can call this. You can call it whatever you want though. I'm going to call it number 1, is equal to sc dot, and then since we're getting an integer, we have to use the dot next int method. And then system.out.print. We'll make another new line. And we'll ask the user for a second integer. And then int num2 is equal to sc dot next int. And with the SC, remember, like that just comes from the name that we gave our scanner. Whatever we name it up here, this part has to match. And once we're done with that, once we've got all of this information, we'll go system.out. We'll do a print line here, just for fun. Make a couple of new lines. Actually, let's do a printf. We can go the sum of %d and %d is %d. We'll make a new line at the end of that. So in this case, what we might want to do is go int sum. We're just going to add number 1 and number 2. And since we've already declared them, we don't need to have the word int down here. We can just say int sum is equal to num1 plus num2. Now down here, since we're using a print statement with these format sequences, or with these conversion sequences I should say, then what we can do is we'll kick down to the next line. We have a comma there, so it'll all be okay. Our first number is going to be number 1. That's going to be the thing that goes right here. The thing that goes here will be number 2, and right there we'll have the sum. So we have number 1, num2, and then the sum. And that'll be good for right now. We'll hit enter. We'll close our main method curly brace. You can see how those match. And then we'll close our class. We'll quit. We'll save and quit. Do some compiling. Everything should work out just fine. And then when we run this, we'll get asked for our first integer. So maybe we want -37. And our second integer, we might pick +50. So the sum of these guys is going to be +13, which we see. We've got a little bit of wonkiness when it comes to the way the white space is created, but that's all right. We can go back and fix that pretty easily. Let's run this again real fast just to make sure that it works exactly the way that we want. This time we'll give it two positive integers. So our first integer might be 1024, and our second integer might be 2048, which should, if we did everything right, give us an answer of 3072. And it does. This is pretty exciting then. What this means is that if we want to, we can collect information like we do in these lines, and then we can use that information, like we do here, to come up with another value, with some output, with whatever it is that we might want. In this case, we've got some addition going on, but later we'll talk about more complicated techniques. And then we can display the results to the user. Right? And that's what programming is all about. You get information from somewhere, you do some stuff to it, and then you put the results somewhere. You show the user what the results are. That's really what it's all about. And so in this case, we've got maybe the simplest way of making this happen. And it all comes from being able to use the scanner to collect input, and then from being able to do stuff with that information, being able to store it somewhere using variables. And then using the printing commands to make all of that appear. Like we've taken everything that we've learned so far, and we've put it all together. So the next step from here, everything that I've shown you so far, is an example of what happens when things go the way that they're supposed to. What we're going to look at in our next video is what happens when things break. Because they're going to break, and that's okay. It's just a matter of knowing how to put them back together again, which in turn requires knowing how to figure out where they broke. I'll see you in a couple of minutes.